Hello and welcome to Rotted Review of the Day, and today I am taking a look at the 2016 Christmas horror movie Better Watch Out. This was not your typical home invasion movie, however, that is how it sets itself up. Actually, it sets itself up many different times in many different ways, and just when you think you have a handle on what this movie is supposed to be, it's going to flip it on its head. And I honestly enjoyed this roller coaster of a ride. It started out very strong and very cheeky, and then it started to change its tone, and then it does a hard left turn. Just when you have it figured out, hard left turn, totally different type of movie than you were expecting, and everything about it I thought actually worked. It was really surprising that with that major of tonal shift that it did work as well as it did. So to get into more details, let's get into the categories. As always, 4 different categories, each one worth up to 25 points for a total possible score of 100 points. And the plot, I gave a 21 out of 25. The home invasion portion of the movie that this starts out with, it follows the main character of Luke, played by Levi Miller, who is an adolescent who is trying to put the moves on his babysitter one last time because she is moving out of state. Her name is Ashley, and she's played by Olivia DeJonge. And so she's 17, 18. He's, I believe, they established in the movie that he was almost 13. And so this is his last-ditch hurrah to get to second base. And in doing so, attempting to woo her with horror movies and champagne, he winds up in the middle of a home invasion situation, and they're forced to run and flee and hide for their lives. If it had continued along that path, I don't know how I would have felt about the movie. It was fairly surface level okay at that point. And I don't know if it really could have sustained for an hour and a half like that. But again, hard left turn, and I'm not going to say anything really about that turn or the movie from that point on, because I think in doing so it would be a bit too spoilery for my taste and what I like to provide in my reviews here. Suffice it to say, it does take a major shift, and it was well placed. It was well timed. If I had any criticisms about the plot, which I do have a few, it would be that after that hard left turn, it did tend to drag just a little bit, but once it got rolling again, once it started downhill again, it really kept its pace. It really knew when to start the action going, and it kept it up fairly well from there. But there was a bit of a drag at that point. So yeah, 21 out of 25 for the plot. I thought it was well-developed characters, and the storyline was intriguing and unique, and I loved it. The intent, I gave a 19 out of 25. This, like I said, I believe that this was trying to be a wink and a smile roller coaster ride that audiences would enjoy being strapped into. And you know what? I did enjoy taking this ride with the filmmakers as they sent me on this journey of Better Watch Out. I really, really loved this one. And I could poke a million holes in it. When you wind up with a situation of, a spider with so many lines out there in its web that, it's going to get tangled in them, like John Goodman says in The Big Lebowski, when plans get too complex, everything can go wrong. So I could definitely try and find plot holes in this and pick it apart, but that's really not the point. The point is to just enjoy it for what it is, and I did. So the acting, I gave a 17 out of 25. This was hammy and awkward in places, and I'm not going to pretend that everybody in this film did a fantastic job of it, but the 3 principal actors in it, Olivia DeJonge as Ashley, Levi Miller as Luke, and Ed Oxenbould as Garrett, who is Luke's best friend, I thought did an amazing job. And since they were in 95% of the movie, they really carried it, and the supporting cast somewhat. Not that great in some areas, okay in others. Patrick Warburton plays Luke's father, and he is great as always. And but I mean, if you're watching the movie because you saw Patrick Warburton's name, prepare yourself. He's not in it a whole lot. Where he is in it, it's great, and I love him to pieces. But just because you see the name in the title or in the credits doesn't mean that he is in it for more than 5 minutes, which is sad. Regardless, I thought the acting did a fairly good job. You might remember Olivia DeJonge and Ed Oxenbould together in The Visit. Well, they're somewhat back together in this movie, although not brother and sister, not in the same kind of tight character companion kind of way. Technical, I gave an 18 out of 25. This was very adept and it was very interesting. There was really good body effects. It was really good makeup effects. And this had a fairly decent balance between knowing when to show gruesomeness and knowing when to turn the camera away and imply it or showing aftermath of it. And I mean, it's very easy for horror film directors to simply just keep the camera going on the gruesome aspects of it and just take it to the nth degree. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I enjoy that kind of roller coaster ride, but I also enjoy some subtlety too. And I think that this had some good subtlety to it. So that gives us a total of 75 out of 100 points. First 5 minutes of the movie, I thought I was in for just silly fun all around. First 30 minutes of it, I thought I was in for a home invasion movie that would not last an hour and a half. And by the end of the movie, I got something totally different than what I ever expected, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. And you know what? I think you will too. I do recommend Better Watch Out. So that should about do it for this review. I thank you for joining me here today. If you like these videos, I welcome you to click like and subscribe. Other than that, next time you want to watch a horror movie, first make sure that it's good and rotted.